They say the strongest chains are not made of iron, but of thought. The man who has no command over his mind will find himself enslaved by anger, by fear, by temptation, by the opinions of others. And yet, the one who governs himself needs no ruler, because the outer world bends to the weight of his discipline. Marcus Aurelius commanded legions, but he feared one enemy above all, his own mind, when it was clouded by passion. He wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, meaning the tone of your inner world paints the reality you see outside. If your mind is restless, the world feels chaotic. If your mind is steady, the storms of life break against you like waves against stone. The greatest mistake men make is believing power lies outside themselves. They chase money, women, status, recognition, thinking control comes from possession. But what happens when money disappears? What happens when people leave? What happens when recognition turns into ridicule? You collapse because you built your life on foundations you don't own. True control begins where no thief can reach, inside your mind. Seneca once said, "A man is enslaved to whatever he cannot part with." Think about that. If you cannot walk away from pleasure, it owns you. If you cannot let go of anger, it rules you. If you cannot stand in silence without begging for validation, you are chained to the crowd. Control of the inner world is not about suppressing emotions. It's about mastering them. Anger will still rise, fear will still visit, desire will still whisper. But you decide their weight. You decide if they move you or if they break against your will. Look at the men who fall easily in today's world. They scroll endlessly, lured by distraction, unable to focus for more than seconds. They beg for attention online, desperate for likes and empty praise. They crumble under criticism because their sense of self is built from what others say, not what they know within. This is slavery, modern, invisible, but no less real. Now, compare that to the man who controls himself. He doesn't need to announce his worth. He doesn't need applause. His silence is his strength. His discipline is his currency. His calmness is his sword. Others look at him and feel unsettled because they cannot understand how a man can stand so unmoved by the chaos that consumes them. Control is not about dominance over others. It is not about crushing enemies or winning arguments. That kind of control is fragile. It only lasts until someone stronger comes along. True control is mastery over your own impulses, your own reactions. The man who can stand calm in humiliation, who can stay composed in loss, who can act with reason when others are blinded by rage, that man cannot be broken. The Stoics were not interested in theory alone. They lived this truth daily. When Epictetus, born a slave, was beaten so harshly that his leg was shattered, he calmly told his master, "If you continue, you will break it." The leg broke. Epictetus did not scream, did not curse. He simply accepted what he could not control and turned inward to the one thing he could, his mind. That inner empire no master could touch. And later, he would become one of the most respected teachers of philosophy, teaching emperors what it meant to be free. This is the paradox. The freer you are inside, the more the world bends outside. A man enslaved to fear will hesitate and miss his chance, but a man who controls fear will act decisively, and the world will open to him. A man enslaved to pleasure will ruin himself chasing fleeting highs, but a man who governs desire will build discipline that others mistake for superhuman. Control yourself, and without even seeking it, you gain power over everything else. Do not misunderstand. Mastering the inner world is not comfortable. It demands sacrifice. It demands suffering. You will face long nights where the easier path tempts you. You will feel the pull of anger when insulted, the pull of lust when distracted, the pull of laziness when discipline calls. This is the battlefield. not in some faraway war, but in the silence of your own choices. Every day you either win or lose control. But here's the truth. Every time you resist anger, you become stronger. Every time you act with reason when others lose themselves, you grow harder to move. Every time you suffer through discipline, instead of collapsing into weakness, you sharpen your soul into a weapon. Slowly, you become untouchable. The world will still throw storms at you. You will lose money. You will be betrayed. You will be tested. But the man who has mastered his inner world does not beg for the storm to stop. He does not cry out, "Why me?" He looks inward, steadies himself, and walks through the chaos untouched. And when others see him, they follow, because power that comes from within cannot be denied. You are not owed control of the outer world. Fortune shifts, people betray, power is temporary. But the kingdom inside your mind, that is yours to command or to abandon. If you let fear, anger, and desire seize the throne, then you will live as their slave. But if you claim it, rule it, and guard it, you become a man no one can conquer. Control the inner world, and the outer world obeys.